Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Love Electric Cars Friday Drive. Now today we've got this 2006 Z4 M. Now that we're on the road, let's talk a bit about the car. We've got a 3.2 litre inline six engine. Now, something that's very interesting is that this is the last of the Z4 M's to ever have that naturally aspirated engine, the inline six. Everything else went to 3 litre turbos after this, which makes it all the more desirable, in my opinion. I think turbos are great, but for something light and nimble, I don't want a turboed engine. I want something that's quick with the throttle response, which I can feel underneath my foot, but also almost makes it a bit more of a collectible in that sense, which is really, really good. Now, the engine produces 330 brake horsepower, and for a car as light as this, it delivers fantastic results. Now, it's about 4.8 seconds in the manual, which we have here, for 0 to 100, which even for a car like this, 3.2 litre, it's not a massive engine, but the way it delivers its power is really impressive, but also that light feel to it. Now, the Z3, the previous generation to this, was a smaller car, so they could get away with being a little bit lighter, whereas what BMW did with the Z4, particularly in the M, they made a lot of things lighter. They've also stiffened the chassis, they've stiffened up the suspension. You can really feel that, particularly when you're in sport mode as I toggle in and out. And in comparison to the Z3, it's so much more direct and responsive that as you're driving, you can actually really feel the difference. And it shows that the work that they did, BMW, to make this, because it is slightly bigger, lighter, they've skipped on a whole bunch of stuff on the interior with like sort of the infotainment system and that sort of thing deliberately, because this car is for performance. It is not for, let's say, the niceties of having certain tech in there that really you don't really need. A couple of things I'm a big fan of. The steering wheel is, sometimes these things are, you don't get a nice grip on it. And with this, where I hold my hands, I have a nice grip. I love the sort of classic BMW red and blue stitching that you've got all the way on the inside, that very classic M feel with the badging there. Same in here, that M badge there. Those little things go quite a long way to know that you're in an M car, or whatever the signature of whatever brand it might be. And I'm a big fan of that. Same as on the dash here, you've got a little M as well. The infotainment system is what it is, you know, it's 2006, I'm not expecting Apple CarPlay or anything like that, but even in general, everything for a car of its age, all the buttons still work really nicely, everything's super crisp and clean. I'm a big fan of this thing, and the red interior with the red and the black seats, I'm actually a massive fan of, to be honest. Into the feel of the car. Now, we've spoken a little bit about some of the changes that BMW made to the Z4 in comparison to the previous generation and the generations after this. But what does it feel like? It's a great little pocket rocket. I'm a huge fan of, even when they first came out, I thought they were super, super cool, and particularly with the M DNA that this has, you can feel as you turn through the corners how stiff and rigid it really is. So I'm imagining myself on a circuit now. We're at Albert Park, so I guess we kind of are, but I can imagine how good this thing would be through some country roads, take it out into the country and just have an absolute blast with it. And you don't have to be going that quick to get the enjoyment out of it. The steering is super, super direct. It's a little bit heavier in the sport mode and a little bit lighter in the regular mode, and comfort, if you will. The gearbox is very, very crisp. You can see, as I'm punching through the gears, you can really feel it engage into the gear really nicely, which is what I want. I don't want it loose there. I want it to be punched in so I know, yep, I'm in gear. As I go to third, you can really feel it just go in, and you get like the sort of cues through the sound of it as well as the feel, which I really, really enjoy. As you're trying to like change up and down the gear, you can hear like a little pop, a little clunk that just goes, yep, I'm in, I'm ready. And I really, really like that. The pedals are something that's really impressed me. A lot of cars, even sort of sports performance cars like this, the pedals are actually really far away on the brake and the accelerator, whereas this, they're actually really, really close. And as I'm braking, I can really easily, it's a technique that we call heel and toe, to try and rev match the engine as we're changing up and down gears. And me, as I put my foot down onto the brake, I want to be able to rev match really cleanly. Sometimes you have to extend your foot really far across, but I don't want to do that because that's not as sort of ergonomically sound. It's a bit awkward, whereas with this, that brake and the throttle are really nicely close together, and offset between where the throttle is and where the brake is. As I press down on the brake, they're actually close together here, not just in width, but in the length of them as well, which is really, really important. That's going to wrap up the video for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I've had a lot of fun in this really cool little pocket rocket. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it's light, it's nimble, and I really want to take it for a bit more of a spin, to be honest with you, around some country roads. But that's going to be it for today. Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, and stay tuned for more Friday drives from us here at Lorbeck.